Mount Lebanon and first-class community has lasted for generations since 1912. A rich community filled with nice houses, first-class working people, famous people, and local small businesses. The town has also local history behind it. The Denis Theatre has been in Mount Lebanon shops from 1938 to 2004. The theater has been owned by the Harrises and moved on to different owners until 2004. The Denis Theatre Foundation saved the local theater from being extinct, and this is the story of the people who saved the Denis Theatre from being closed down for good.
Originally, I was the sole person on the foundation, and I went through most of the legwork to get us established as a 501c3 nonprofit organization, to get us incorporated in the state of Pennsylvania, to get basic bylaws and things like that. So once we were set up officially as a nonprofit, I started building the board, and I did that with the help of many, many people. I took recommendations from people, I interviewed people. Interestingly, the initial board, which was 5 individuals, was made up of myself and 4 other people that I had never met before. I tried not to go to just people that I knew or people that I liked. I really tried to broaden the scope and bring on people who had terrific functional skills to help to make the project move forward. So we ended up with an initial core of 5 very motivated and talented board members.
My role as Executive Director of the Denis Theatre Foundation entails a lot of activities. The primary one is fundraising, as it is with any nonprofit organization. And fundraising for the Denis is a really important component, particularly right now. We own the building. We've bought the building, the foundation did. And now the key part is to raise the funds to do the renovation.
So when it became clear that this wasn't going to be a good business investment for someone, but rather an investment in your community, we made the decision to move forward with it as a nonprofit rather than as a for-profit venture, and that's when the Denis Theatre Foundation started.
Executive Director does a really important job in spearheading a lot of the fundraising. Now that doesn't mean it takes a backseat to all of the other activities, one of which is programming and looking forward to planning for the future in terms of what the ultimate products will be.
Originally, I had been working closely with the man who bought the building, Commissioner Raja. He had bought the building to save it from being torn down by other people. And he and I had worked together to determine whether or not this could be a for-profit venture. When it became clear that it couldn't be for-profit and we decided to make it a non-profit, we basically parted ways. I went off to spearhead starting the foundation, and Mr. Raja became the landlord of the foundation. The landlord of the building, I should say. The Denis Theatre opened in 1938, which is amazing because that was right in the middle of the Depression, so it really spoke to how people go to the movies when times get hard. When it first opened, it was a 1,200-seat grand movie house. It had 700 in the downstairs orchestra and 500 more seats in the balcony. It had a small performance stage, and the screen was suspended across the stage. It played to huge audiences. It showed mainstream movies of the time, which are movies we don't see anymore, but classics of the time. And it did that for a good 30 years. Denis Theatre closed in 2004. I was very upset. A lot of people in the area were very upset. It was a shock. Having a Main Street theater is an incredible luxury. Having a theater within walking distance and right next to restaurants and everything is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And probably a lot of us took it for granted. But when it closed, we were all outraged. In 2007, he actually did put the theater on the market. I was looking for a change in my own life at that point, looking for a new opportunity. And when I saw that the theater was for sale, I thought that perhaps I should take my outrage at it closing and put it into action. I hooked up with other people. We examined a lot of the financial information about the Denis. We ran operating budgets going forward and determined that while the theater could be viable going forward, it would not make enough profit going forward to pay for the cost of purchasing and renovating the building. So far, the money that's been raised for the Denis Theater, which is about $900,000, has been used to purchase the building and to keep the operation running. Obviously, there are some costs even to having an empty building. There are insurance costs, there are tax issues, etc. So we raised about $900,000 to purchase the building and keep it running during the 2 years that we did fundraising prior to the purchase of the building. We're now in the phase, or I should say the board and the Capital Campaign Committee are now in the phase of raising another approximately $2 million for the first phase of the renovation. So the renovation will start proceeding as those dollars are raised. A fundraiser that we had in February of 2010, which was called Raise the Curtain. It was a $250 a head fundraiser, and unlike many other galas, we raised all of the money through the ticket price and donations that people made in lieu of coming to the gala. We did not have auctions, we did not have drawings. We raised the money through the ticket price, not through auctions. When the snowstorm had made us have to delay the gala and then delay it again, and then there was a third snowstorm on the day that we actually had it, we decided we really needed to move ahead with it. The summer of 2010 was a really critical time for the Denis Theater in terms of whether or not it was going to move forward or not succeed for the foundation. We had received 2 tremendous grants, a $100,000 grant from the Pittsburgh Foundation and a $155,000 challenge grant from another anonymous donation in the Pittsburgh area. The challenge grant had to be satisfied by August 31st. So while we had extended the deadline many times for our purchase option on the building, the challenge grant deadline was a very hard and fast deadline. And we put out the challenge to raise $155,000 in June. And I am thrilled to say that the citizenry around the whole region stepped up and met the challenge, and we raised that $155,000 before August 31st. In fact, the last $1,000 of that challenge was raised on August 31st, and that is what allowed us to purchase the building before the deadlines expired.
It still remains to be seen, but the Denis Theater Foundation has plans to reopen again in 2012. Once reopened, the Denis Theater will be a great place for new people to come and see, and for many more generations to come.